So we are going to play the Star Wars countdown for this one, even though it's Dig a Little Deeper, but it's a Star Wars Dig a Little Deeper.
Oh, that makes sense. Good thought.
Hello, all you Grokus and Grokuettes. Nice to see you. We are here for another edition of Dig. What's wrong, Jeremiah?
What? I don't even know what to say about that.
Oh, he's just going based on my theory. My new theory. Have you heard my new Baby Yoda theory? Spoiler alert ahead. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay, so previously, before we met Grogu, right, it was Yoda and Yaddle. And so a lot of people were anticipating that our new friend would have a name that begins with Y. So my theory is that Ahsoka misunderstood, and he is a Grogu, but we don't know his name still.
Oh, that's just his species.
Yeah, his species is Grogu.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
eventually we'll find out his name, and it'll start with a Y. But Yoda is a Grogu, and Yaddle is a Grogu.
That's interesting.
Isn't that fun? It's ridiculous, by the way. This is a ridiculous theory, but you know.
Here's my theory: Yoda came to Earth, met a Mogwai that they call Gremlins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, why? That's why it's a G.
Is that why we can never feed Grogu after midnight?
After midnight.
Are we doing a show? Are we live? What's going on here?
We are totally live. Oh yeah.
Really.
In the words of Seinfeld or Jerry, no, actually, this was George. This is the show. Hello,
Hi, Shelley.
everyone. Let me do an intro. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dig a Little Deeper, the show in which we talk about an attraction and then we dig a little deeper. Today's attraction is going to be Star Tours. But before we begin, we'd like to ask y'all to do a favor. Please like this stream, give it a big thumbs up. Let the YouTube people in charge know that you're fans of us. Make sure you subscribe to our stream. By the way, we now have 100,000 subscribers. If anyone from Google is out there watching, we're waiting for our play button, our silver play button. Please get that to us ASAP. We can proudly display it. Let's see. To host today's edition of Dig a Little Deeper, we have myself, Doobie Mosley, the co-creator of Laughing Place, the website. To my left is my wife, Rebecca Mosley, the co-creator of Laughing Place, the website. Down there, the lovely, the talented MCO on the go, if I may have reversed that.
You always reverse that.
And over there is the vice president in charge of dinner shows, currently on hiatus, Jeremiah. How you doing, Jeremiah?
On hiatus. Thanks.
Better than.
So we are here to talk about one of, I dare say, one of the absolute classic attractions in the history of Walt Disney theme parks. I don't think anyone would dare disagree with me on this one.
I have to be right back. Sorry.
Except her.
She was so disgusted with that statement, she left.
She was like, bye.
Well, we'll get into specifics later, but I'm going to say this might be the only attraction, or certainly the first attraction from the 80s, that is an undeniable classic, Star Tours.
Dun, 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 dun,
Star Tours. Beyond your wildest. No, that's not it. Sorry.
No.
Confusement.
Oh, Jeremiah.
I see. Oh,
I see you too.
I'm sorry. I saw that and I was starting to feel bad for Gio. Like, Gio's in the ICU? What's going on?
It was I see you.
Hopefully not in California.
In these days, we see those letters.
It means, but no.
All right, so let's talk Star Tours. I'm sorry.
You know what? This is one of my favorite attractions. I have to say, especially in its first incarnation.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yes.
I just want to get in the Star Tours mood.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, for the longest time, that was my when you could, cell phone, when you had cell phone rings and cell phone tones. Now everybody's phone is just always on vibrate. But it used to be that was my fixed alert. When I would get a message from someone, it would be the Kuchana.
So we are going back to Star Tours, an attraction that first opened at Disneyland way back in 1987. There it is. There's a Mickey Mouse, C-3PO, Minnie Mouse, little Ewoks. I believe that is George Lucas and a tall guy who are cutting the ribbon there.
Wait, is that 3CPO?
Did I say that?
No, that's what Michael Eisner said in the
did he really?
thing. He goes, 3CPO. Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
That reminds me of Cynthia Harris talking about 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea at the media event. The people in charge sometimes make mistakes. But anyway, so this was a collaboration between Disney and Lucasfilm. Their second collaboration, the first being Jeremiah.
No, it wasn't Jeremiah. I was before that. Oh, you mean Captain EO?
That's right. They were here.
Very nice.
You think me stupid? Sorry, it's me. It's me. Yeah. Don't be afraid. It's me.
I'm even more afraid.
I wish I had a trash can. Gotta have a disguise.
See you later, trash cans.
My white warriors. We're digging a little deeper to all Lucas attractions now.
Many good lines.
Want to just switch now to Captain EO instead of Star?
No, but
if doing that, we got to get what's her name? We got to get Terry Harding on here.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, opened in 1987, a collaboration between Lucas and Disney, and most importantly, the thing that sets Star Tours back. Disney is known for being innovators in terms of themed entertainment in general, but sometimes it's easy to forget they actually innovate in attractions too, with the first tubular steel roller coaster and Space Mountain, which probably was among the first attractions completely in the dark, roller coasters completely in the dark, and then we have Star Tours, which for better or worse in hindsight, innovated the simulator. And I know Jeremiah is kind of our history guy. You want to talk about that a little bit, Jeremiah?
No.
All right. Well,
no, we gotta do it.
That's why you're here, Jerm. That's why you're here.
So, Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg were brought in to pretty much save Disney in the 80s because Disney was about to go under and be bought out many times over. The first project that Eisner pushed for, he pushed for the Star Tours because he saw that and he said, hey, we could do that. And then they had to explain to him, we can't just make an attraction overnight. So that's how Captain EO kind of got fast tracked. And then Star Tours took over Adventures Through Inner Space.
Oh, don't make this a downer.
No, but that is a really that was really painful. That was one of my favorite and I know Jeremiah has a similar affinity for it.
We've talked about this many times, how I can remember running down Main Street and running into Adventures Through Inner Space and the wall being there and me just being like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your introduction to getting used to being disappointed at changes made at the Disney theme park.
No, but that was the thing, it was very, very disappointing for that attraction to be gone. But then when you heard you were going to be on a Star Wars ride, it was like, whoa, okay, I'm fine. I think I'm going to be okay with that. That sounds amazing, But I was very late in coming to thrill rides as a notion, and so I wasn't sure if I would want to ride it because I was barely doing I was really new just doing the Disneyland roller coasters. It took me a long time till I would ride things like Matterhorn or Space Mountain. So I was worried that this ride was going to be too exciting for me.
Oh, that's cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, Starlog. Oh, I remember Starlog.
These I recently bought. I have my originals somewhere in storage, but I don't have them here in Florida, so I had to go back. It was a 2-part story all about Star Tours and how it was created and everything in these two. Of course, this one I bought mostly because it was about Superman 4.
4?
Oh, the good one. The good one.
Superman 4? Seriously? Wow.
In doing some research for this, my copious research, I was surprised to learn that Star Tours, the concept was not originally for Star Wars, which is interesting, a collaboration with an outside studio. They originally wanted to do a simulator that was interactive related to one of their own properties, the extremely popular movie, The Black Hole. If anyone knows that movie.
Sorry, that's what I always do when I hear.
Wow. Can you wait? Hold on. I can do this. Let me just 1 second. Let me get.
What is that?
There it is.
As the Cygnus is flying towards the black hole, and Vincent and old Bob, it's just all that.
Do you know what I think of when I hear the black hole?
No.
KLOS.
Yes, I was going to say, you think of KLOS.
KLOS.
In the early days of Laughing Place. One of the first kind of moments where we were like, is this the kind of thing we report or we don't report? Because we were broadening beyond theme park news. The station KLOS, which was Disney.
That's why
a
we
Disney-owned station, so therefore we cared. Got itself into a lot of trouble with a campaign that, with some language and campaign that went over very poorly and was terribly thought out. But that's what Juby always thinks of, because it's very similar.
Dig a little deeper into that.
Yeah,
but,
you probably can figure it out.
So yeah, but Vincent, they're really. I'm sorry, but Vincent just doesn't get enough love within the Disney world.
I've seen that movie. Vincent gets plenty of love.
No,
unless you mean the dog from Lost, he could get more love. Let's see. So,
can you imagine Maximum?
Okay, let's try this. I think Donna has a good idea there. I like that.
I feel like it needs to be a word.
All right, okay.
That's a little too pleasant.
All right, we'll get a warning. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. Okay.
We can get the sounds from the Death Star.
So apparently,
that's a wild thought, though. That if that movie had been popular, that we would have had a black hole.
We could do so many. Like, if that movie had been popular, what Disneyland would look like today.
There might not be. They may not have bought Lucasfilm because they would have their own big.
For the black hole.
I always thought that enormous red thing in the middle of Space Mountain would have been, somehow adapted to reflect that moment in the movie, and just all that kind of stuff.
Gio found a pen for Vincent the dog at Disney World.
No, not the dog.
How do you know?
Because it's not. It's not Vincent the dog.
Did they have a pen for the polar bears?
Stop.
So anyway, 2 reasons. Black Hole was a flop, and apparently that attraction was going to cost like $50 million. Like I said, interactive. We didn't even have simulators yet, and they were going to do an interactive simulator. So that got shelved, and instead they got a partnership with Lucas. They did Captain EO, and then they went on to do Star Tours. And so when they did this, they had to, this was, like I said, this was new technology for theme parks. They purchased 4 military-grade flight simulators, each at a cost of $500,000 that they could then adapt for Star Tours. This is a term my son is really into right now. It had 6 degrees of freedom, which I'm not even sure what that means. But it does. It had 6 degrees of freedom. It could move 35 degrees on the X, Y, and Z axes. Ooh, yes, that's what you were in, the Star Speeder 3000. And the whole attraction cost, according to Wikipedia, $32 million, which, if you recall, is twice the price of Disneyland itself. And if I'm not mistaken, about 12 times the price of DCA. So they put a lot of money into Star Tours.
So as you're talking about the degrees of motion and the axes, that is what it looks like underneath. This was the original Star Tours, where it had the legs that could move you the different directions.
Those are some cool.
Yeah, go on.
No. Juby was going to share another one that was like, I'm glad that I didn't know this before I went on it.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. And sometimes I wonder if these are like R&D images as opposed to like actual usage image. You know what I mean?
This one obviously is. This is an actual attraction.
But
Unlike Jeremiah's.
That was the one that was done at WDI in Glendale. They built like the whole warehouse for that.
insane. So I've watched their videos out there you can watch, especially in Paris, I guess. Maybe they have a tour or something, but there are plenty of videos out there you can watch on YouTube of what it's like to just watch the ride vehicle during Star Tours. That thing moves. It moves like crazy.
I had the chance to take a tour years ago and see, like, they had a little booth where you could stand and watch it move. And there are times where the nose of the Star Speeder looks like it's going to hit the ground. And the attraction was so huge, they actually took the building that Adventures Through Inner Space was in, and they had to add levels onto it after they airlifted the simulators in. And you were saying you're watching video. That is the actual film run for the original attraction.
That's what we're looking at here?
Yeah, that's the film going through each of the different runs being projected onto the screen on the inside.
Wow.
That's bananas.
No, it's actually, I believe, film, but that's close.
Thank you, Judy.
You're thinking of Minions. That's a whole different thing.
Bananas.
I really, oh man, I love this ride.
So a little bit more background. Of course, ILM, for some reason, they got them to do the special effects for this attraction. And so they would, a programmer would sit inside the cabin, watch the movie, and then move a joystick to program it, which is just cool, I think. And he did a good job, because what I hear in simulators, if they're not quite in sync right, you get sick. And I've never gotten sick riding this thing. So he did a good job.
I can remember when, after Star Tours came along, and I've said this many times about the simulators where every mall had a simulator. And I can remember one that was in Luxor, and the screen was a little bit off on the movements, and I got off there not feeling well at all.
Yeah, so that's key. That's the difference between a good simulator and a bad simulator. And then Jeremiah. So Star Tours opened in a way that stuff doesn't open anymore, which is kind of sad. 60-hour party. Kyle, if you're out there, 60 hours, not 24. Yes, 24 is encompassed in 60, but it was a 60-hour party. Were you there by any chance, Jeremiah, back in 1980?
I wasn't. That was definitely before my time of being the uber nerd that I am. But
I'm so disappointed. I sure wanted first party stories from you.
I know people that were there. I've heard stories of even people that were working that would just fall asleep on the train as it went in circles, and that would be where they would just take their breaks asleep in the corner.
I recall stories of people curled up in the Main Street Cinema for some reason. So, during portions of this experience. So, yeah, it's like I wasn't there for the massive party either. I made it to the attraction. I want to say the summertime.
Say it.
No, I think it was summer before I got to go.
So the attraction features some voices we're familiar with. Anthony Daniels provided not only the voice, but the model for the action of the gold guy. And then Ben Burt did R2-D2's voice. Mm-hmm. Is that who normally does his voice? Anybody know?
Yeah, that's definitely a main level question.
We're gonna click that.
Well, no, he does. I know him as someone who does a lot of those types of noises, because I associate him with that Pixar short Lifted, right? I believe that was his work. So I think of him as being kind of the
he is the R2-D2.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. What's Stevie working on?
Oh,
okay.
I just checking message.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
And then Warwick Davis had a cameo in there. Of course, we all know him. But it introduced a brand new character to us, a Captain RX-24, a.k.a. Rex, voiced by the famous. I'll let Shelley say this one.
Paul Rubens. Right?
Better known as?
Pee Wee Herman.
Herman. Oh, wait. Hello, Shelley.
So fun.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman. That's one of those early facts, when I first became a Disneyland fan, where I feel like, oh, I know something. Pee Wee Herman is the voice of Rex. And then I really knew something. Rex used to be a goose. Well, no, not Rex, but one of the robots in the queue.
No, the two geese droids in the queue.
And then I really, really knew something. You can see one of the old Atomobiles going across in the queue. And then I really, really, really knew something. George Lucas is at the end of the movie.
No.
It's debatable. It's debatable.
No.
Did you really, really know this one? Hang on. This is one of my favorite, really, really nerdy ones. You can put up the nerd alert.
Here we go. Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
Preemptive nerd alert.
I was excited it's a nerd alert.
Oh, yeah,
So-
fact. Tell them it's a fun fact.
Rebecca, you remember the queue for Adventures Through Inner Space, right?
Yeah, with the mighty microscope.
And the exit where they had the displays of like different things. That was in the queue for Star Tours on the lower level.
Oh,
That
cool.
structure was one of the original displays at the exit of Adventures Through Inner Space.
This place.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Place.
Well, that is cool.
It's no longer in there. I mean, sadly, the only thing we have that's a tribute to Adventures Through Inner Space is if you get lucky, you get to see the mighty microscope one more time.
Yay, the mighty microscope.
So here is, of course, what the original Star Tours looked like in the original location.
I
I
don't
don't see
think
any M&Ms.
I don't think I discovered or like actually spotted the mighty microscope until the 90s. Like when I started hanging out with the level of nerds that you introduced me to. Up until then, I thought I was nerdy because Captain Rex was Pee Wee Herman, that to me was from Flight of the Navigator. So
Oh wow!
A movie.
All right, so let's get personal here, Shelley.
Yeah.
What did you think of Star Wars, the original version?
Star
Wars
Tours?
or Star Tours.
You know what I mean.
Star
You
Tours.
don't have to correct me here. We have a personal.
We have Slack for that.
Yes.
No, I really, really like it. In fact, my husband didn't go to Disney World at all when he was a child. And so the first park that I took him to was Hollywood Studios so he could ride Star Tours because he's such a Star Wars nerd. That was his first Disney ride.
Oh wow!
Very cool. Very, very cool.
How about you, Jeremiah? Is it among your favorites?
Absolutely. The original, still to this day, like I love turning on YouTube and every now and then just finding one of those videos that WDI just kind of, I think they snuck out to people. That's the original ride through video and seeing all the little details and then just flashing back to it.
Agreed.
Can I just take us through like what it was like a little bit? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Let me tell Luke, I love that fact. People Mover
Yeah.
was my all-time favorite attraction. I love the fact that as you rode People Mover, you got a little peek and C-3PO had some words to say to you. That was cool. Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining us on Dig a Little Deeper. Go ahead, Rebecca.
No, it was just that was one of the things. If you hadn't experienced the ride yet, you would be on the People Mover, and it would travel through that over the but the queue area where you would have that big screen and it would show you all the various destinations you could go to, and you could see from above all the stuff that was in those carts, over your head as you were in the queue. When you rode the People Mover, then you were above it and you were able to, look into the little carriages that were passing over your head as you were in that droid section. And I loved the way that it was a different way to see the same ride.
Mm-hmm.
It like offered you a different perspective on the ride. I loved that element of it. I loved the being in the queue and seeing all the destinations and hearing the announcements. I mean, they really did a great job of bringing to life a intergalactic station. You were at this port waiting for your adventure to begin, and you were thinking about all the other places you'd like to go someday. I know that I'm still bitter. I have not yet been to Bespin. It is still on the bucket list of Disney. Will you finally offer me a scenic route over Bespin? Now I want to see Navarro, but so I'm my list is getting longer. I want a canyon ride. I want to ride through the canyon and have like the lava, like from Navarro.
Which movie is that?
No, that's Mandalorian.
You want to see Dave Navarro?
Not Dave Navarro, the planet Navarro.
I want to see
with
Grogu.
That would be, you could have that at Navarro maybe, depending. So yeah.
Oh, Mike, worked at Disney when Star Tours opened it back then, MGM Studios. So I don't even think I mentioned it. Opened at Disneyland in 1987, January. It next opened in Tokyo, which I didn't realize. I thought Tokyo was third, but it opened in Tokyo second in July of 89. And then a few months later, December of 89, actually, Walt's death day, December 15th, it opened at Hollywood Studios. And then it was an opening day attraction for Disneyland Paris, I believe, April 1992.
And one of the neat things as a California fan was we didn't have kind of a setup into.
Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. This is really cool one.
Into Star Tours. Oh, that's very cool, Mike.
Cool.
Oh, I can't even imagine what that would be like. You met George Lucas. Oh, that'd be so cool. Okay, but going to the attraction when you were at the studios, right? You walk up on this AT-AT.
The AT-AT.
And you have the indoor forest. And it was just, there was like this additional fun to it.
So cool.
And then when you stepped inside, it had like, it was as if you were stepping into a set. They did this really weird blend of when you were outside, it felt more, in some ways, more immersive than walking up to Tomorrowland. But then once you stepped kind of into it, then it was like, oh, wait, I'm in a Star Wars movie. So it was this very interesting design choice. And I loved that it was the same yet different.
And you experienced it in Tokyo too, right?
Yes, I did. And Tokyo's has one of my favorite elements that I sadly was unable to locate a picture of before this. But in the queue, they grab they have these like two birds that are crafted out of various like little droid pieces that sit above you and you're walking underneath, and there's like these two birds. And it's, for me, they always felt like a combination of the Haunted Mansion Raven, because the way their design is with like a beak and the long wings, but yet in some ways they remind me of the two vultures from America Sings and Splash Mountain. But yes, America Sings, Splash Mountain. So yeah, those are really cool. Decades later, I'm at a presentation by artist Eric Robeson, who's an Imagineer and artist for Disney, and those were part of his piece that he added to the Tokyo Disneyland. So he was telling the story of how they came to be, and I was like, wow.
I know that they're still there. At least when I visited, they were floating around, and those are the ones that they actually like made action figures of. That we all went, wait, this isn't in Disneyland.
They're so cool.
But this was probably my favorite thing. Yes, I've been to Tokyo, and yes, I'm sorry to cut you off, but they put up the droids, including Rex, as the hitchhiking ghost or the hitchhiking droids.
Cool.
Oh, that's
cool.
And you can see Rex has one of the target droids that Luke is practicing his lightsaber with.
Oh, right.
Very
That's
cool.
what those are, yes. And he puts
then above him is one of the little, not mouse droids, but it was one of the droids that at Disneyland used to go along the path underneath in your first room. That was just something random that you would just see every now and then.
So the original Star Tours, of course, was a 2-day attraction. You had your pilot Rex, who was on his first flight, which was okay because it was yours too. And you would take off. You would take a wrong turn. You would go light speed to indoor. You would encounter comets. You would pass the indoor moon.
You get stuck in a
tractor beam.
Just ease off on those main thrusters, and that's how you get out of tractor beams.
You got to do the ultimate, do the Death Star run. And then you came home. You almost ran into George Lucas, or not George Lucas, as people are now telling me. And then you finished. An amazing attraction. And one of the cool things, as we knew about simulators, was because it essentially was a ride with the movie and programmed movement, it could be updated regularly. And that was one of the great things about putting something like Star Tours in, is you knew that over time you could change destinations or maybe randomize it. You wouldn't go to the indoor moon all the time, as we discovered, right, Jeremiah?
Oh, absolutely. They updated it, like, I can't believe the speed that they updated that attraction. I mean, it was how many, 20 some odd years?
Do you remember, Rebecca, the time we just knew they were working on a new Star Tours movie at the Grand Californian?
Oh, this was the best. This is like the best. So it was right around the time, I want to say it was just before DCA's first Christmas. And we were in the lobby of the Grand Californian Hotel.
Christmas.
And
Give
this
you my heart.
this cart, this cart, you know, like the bellhops have with people's luggage. I'm holding my hands so close because I have total like mom fingernails that like the stuff's off like y'all. So and the cart's going by, and there's film reels, like legit the enormous film reels on this cart, and they're followed shortly by George Lucas.
By George Lucas.
Through the lobby of the Great
Staying at the hotel. At the same time, there's all these canisters. That can
What
only
could
mean
it
one
be?
thing. Star Tours new movie in the works.
But
Wait, 2001?
But if you remember,
apparently it could mean two things.
But if you remember, this was not long after they had redone the Disneyland park map, I think, and they had the pod racer, right? This is the pod racer map. I think
right.
had happened already, where they had redone the map of Disneyland, and you know how they have a little bit of animated art near each attraction. Well, near the Star Tours pavilion, they had like just a little part of the Anakin's yellow pod racer.
And this wasn't that long after the prequels.
And so we were all like, oh, it must be. And then we saw that and it was like, oh, it's happening. Yeah, it
didn't happen.
It didn't.
It was like, that timeline is Gideon who's complaining about the timeline. I was like, that timeline doesn't fit at all.
It didn't happen, but we love that story about, because, you know, back then you're a hardcore fan. You're always looking for that little insider knowledge and run away with it in your mind. It's before the internet, or before. No, we had the internet, but we weren't posting stuff like that. So anyway,
when did the adventure start continuing?
We're about to get there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So Star Tours ran for ultimately 29 years. If you take from its first opening at Disneyland to its final run at the last park it closed out, which I should have noted but didn't. In Florida, when they closed it in Florida, they had a last tour to indoor. Did you take that? Did you do that event, Jeremiah?
I was in California for that time.
Oh.
I did. It was my first event. In Florida.
Right. What do you remember from this event while I show a few pictures?
It was just so much fun. I had just moved to Florida, and they had opened it up to D23 members, and like it was really cool. Like, it was just a chance to like hang out with people who love Star Wars as much as you did. And I know I keep saying it was cool. It was just a lot of fun. It was like everybody was hanging out, celebrating the same thing. And, you know, it's not often that you get a chance to just like nerd out about Star Wars in like a super fun way. And that was it.
That's cool.
They had this little presentation on the stage, some entertainment. I feel like it was like a taste of hyperspace hoopla.
Yeah, and
apparently it was. So I had not frequented hyperspace hoopla, so I recognized it to the same extent that I think others who were there recognized it. And then they gave you a ticket, and you got to go on the attraction. And then as you were exiting the attraction, what were you getting ready to show, DB?
I was just going to say, so I don't remember this event. I'm not convinced I was there. I think maybe just you were there.
No, you were there.
Okay. That Boba Fett destroyed the Star Tours with a thermal detonator.
Oh,
see, there's Boba Fett. Oh, let me share that.
I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah,
he threw the thermal detonator that way.
Yeah, and that made the fireworks go, and that was like the official end of Star Tours. Of course, it ran for another couple of weeks before, because this event wasn't actually the last day.
I was going to say, we went. I think we went to like the other one.
They had another one with D23 after the actual last day.
And that's what we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one was the first last tour of Endor, where they actually let Boba Fett destroy it, which was really, really, really cool. So that was the end of Star Tours 1.0. And much to the disappointment of fans everywhere, they announced they were actually going to change this thing. And Jeremiah, I'll let you talk about Star Tours: The Adventures Continue.
So Star Tours: The Adventures Continue, after it was a long rehab for the attraction, came back with digital projection, the 3D, the randomizer, which was definitely a highlight. But my favorite thing about the Star Tours: The Adventures Continue was getting it spoiled by Sir Anthony Daniels himself.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because
what did he do?
They showed us the concept art at, I think it was a D23 Expo, and they talked about how we had this new pilot and everything. And then Anthony Daniels comes out and talks about how he just recorded a whole bunch of things because he's the pilot for the Star Speeder 1000. We're like, wait, what? And until the day it opened, and I as I found out, I was at Disney Hollywood Studios the same day you guys were for the opening event of that. I was actually the night before there was a Parks Blog event for the opening, and that was so great because I happened to be out here on vacation, and I remember writing it with 2 other people in the cabin while they're doing different stuff outside. I'm like, I'll watch that later on YouTube. I'm writing this with nobody else in it at all.
Yeah.
And then the next morning,
really
because it was Star Wars weekends, I got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And yes, I got a pin. And I can remember. So you guys need to go on Laughing Places YouTube and look at the opening ceremony that these 2 people recorded all these years ago. And they had the great view of they're close to the stage. By the time I got in, we were all down Hollywood Boulevard off to the sides. And as the parade passed us, we all kind of started following in behind them. And fights were breaking out because the people that were closest to the stage thought that they would get up there closest. And we were just walking. So I had this great view of George Lucas and everybody. Like, I'm dead center, and I was halfway down Hollywood Boulevard.
Epic.
But that was also the time when they were doing the mall tours promoting it. And I was so upset that I never got to go to one of those because they had their exclusive ears that I never got a chance to get. Shelley?
Yeah.
You have yours?
No, I don't. Actually, mine are in storage. I was looking for them. I thought they were here because I went to the one in Tampa.
Yeah, but when the attraction opened, it blew people away. I mean, having the option, well, not really the option, but having the opportunity to see the different planets as we've wanted all this time. And then now we're how many years later, and we're still getting new planets, and hopefully we'll get some, we'll go visit Dave Navarro at some point on there.
Dave Navarro, the planet.
What about Navarro Cheer? Will we get to visit them as well?
There it is.
That was a really fun event when it reopened. Again, it was like the opportunity, like everybody around you was just so stoked. And, like,
They got into the fights.
Okay, so maybe sometimes when people get stoked, they break into fights. But I'm just saying, everybody was like really excited about the same exact thing. And it was like right before like hyperspace hoopla, you know how like there was like this tingle in the crowd because everybody was really excited about the same thing. It was the same thing, but like boom, it was so good.
I think it's worth noting that Bob Iger and George Lucas look really, really, really geeky standing there, geeky and awkward, holding these lightsabers.
No, not as geeky as Eisner and Lucas looked in the opening for the original Star Tours, where they're very awkward. And that was one of Eisner's first big things. And you can see that he wasn't that comfortable talking. I mean, he does misspeak C-3PO's name at one point, but it's fun to go back and look at, because I watched the original opening, then I watched the opening you guys recorded, and it's very much the same type of event, except the one at Disneyland was this huge stage that blocked all of Tomorrowland, not really, comfortable for the regular park guest. And that probably only took like 3 days to set up and take down.
What I remember most about this event, yes, I did record this, and I do have a memory of this, is we were very surprised that on opening day they decided to destroy the building that housed Star Tours. Did not see that coming.
Do you by any chance, I should know this because I should have looked, but do you have the fireworks from the party the night before at the media event?
I don't know that we do. I'm not sure.
Those were the craziest fireworks I've ever seen in my life, and I was like searching to see what I had because
what I remember from the media event the night before is they were filming a Food Net, not Food, Amazing. Was it Amazing? It was a Food Network thing where they had to make a Star Wars cake. Yeah, and I remember watching that. I don't remember the fireworks, but if we
remember
do,
being outside the gate and seeing the fireworks.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go totally off topic. Favorite studio fireworks. Do you have favorites? Because I know mine right away. I can tell you right away my favorite studio's fireworks.
All right, go.
Mine are ESPN The Weekend. I loved ESPN The Weekend finale fireworks. They had like film clips showing by the hat, and then they had like the music from Rocky, all that, you know, pump you up, stadium jam type stuff, and with film clips and fireworks. And it was fireworks that were low, and so they were you were covered in ash. Your eyes were burning and you were covered in ash. That to me is like, yes, that's what I want for my fireworks. I want to smell like sulfur.
Is that Dave Filoni?
Where?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What was his
Dave
job?
Filoni.
Star Wars.
There's Clone Wars, and there's Ashley on the
Oh
other
yeah,
side.
I see Ashley on the other side, and of course there's Anthony Daniels.
Yeah.
And we know it's Dave Filoni. Please don't.
Did I say Fellini?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's doing that.
I'm
It's a bad
sorry.
habit.
Dave Filoni, and Anthony Daniels, and
Is that-
Ashley Eckstein from
Is that
Her
a
Universe.
is that a portion of JTT? Not JTT, JAT. Is that a portion of his face there?
Right there on the left?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It is
Yeah.
right.
I know he
It was Star Wars weekend, like opening day. So it
Yeah.
was, you know, every Star Wars weekend regular was there.
and he is definitely a Star Wars weekend regular. I'm going to answer your question. My favorite one is the one I never got to see, but it always looks so cool with the giant inflatable Mickey. What was it?
Sorcerer's
Yeah.
In the sky.
I never got to see it. I suspect it would have disappointed me, but I always wanted to see it, so that's my favorite.
I used to use these to mark time. I like knew what time of day it was, right? It was like, oh, it must be about, you know, okay. And then Jeffrey says that the story I told reminded him of the fireworks that he saw years and years ago. So very
Galaxy far, far away.
All right. Are we done with off topic?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Any chance I can talk about fireworks, I'd take
She
it.
is such a pyro queen. It's amazing.
It's hard living far away from Disney. I don't get as much pyro anymore. It's very difficult.
Mike, where's Mike? Somewhere Mike said he did not like the hat. The hat.
Yeah.
Kind of, and
But
which
he
is
just hated the hat. Right
hated
there.
the hat. Yeah, that kind of surprises me because people love that hat in front of the Chinese
Oh
theater.
yeah, so many people.
And so I did not expect to see that anywhere.
It's like you loved Uncle Buck's cabin in front of the river, in front of the lake at Universal. I
I
know.
love Uncle Buck's cabin. I miss that's my favorite part of the tour is seeing Uncle Buck's cabin, especially when I'm with people who know it's actually the cabin from the Great Outdoors and they want to correct me. But no, I will not be corrected. It's Uncle
It's painful. It's really,
You never should have told me that story.
it's so painful. It's so painful.
So
But no, I mean,
what?
the hat. You hate the hat?
I
You hate
hated
the hat? Did you hate the hat, Shelley?
So I don't know if I hated the hat, but I'm really happy it's not there anymore because I like that visual. Like I mean, like the hat never said anything mean about my mom, so like I'm not mad and I don't hate the hat. But like I also really love like when you walk in and like you see the Chinese theater and you're like,
Shelley, at one point, it made some rude comments about your hair. I just didn't want to tell you about it. I know you get
in
sensitive
that
about your hair.
case, the hat burns.
Oh man. And then they did this.
Star Tours, the adventures continue. So as Jeremiah said, they by the way, it's not that the hat was bad. You're right, Shelley. The hat itself was actually quite attractive. It just was in a bad spot, blocking the beautiful Chinese theater. If they'd have moved it, I don't know, on World Drive or something, it would have been great.
Yeah.
If you would have, what if it would have been where that gate is that was blank for a while? This is my son, by the way, just so everybody knows. This
Good
comment
thing
here.
everyone likes his mom.
This is like very, very, very good. Like if it was over there instead, that archway that said Disney Studio,
Right.
The animation archway.
and then what if it was like there instead? Maybe people wouldn't have hated it so much. It would have kind of like been off to the side.
All right, Mike, I don't know if you've seen our show before, but you clearly fit in.
You get the show.
You get the show.
Gio hit it right on the head. That is correct. It was supposed to be at the entrance, right on the water, and that there was going to be a double Ferris wheel at one point out there too.
But
wow, I didn't know that.
If it wasn't for that hat, Jeremiah, I'm just going to stop there. I just like to do that.
If it wasn't for that hat, we would still have one of the world's largest hidden Mickeys. Yes.
Oh wow!
Right.
That's why you're bitter. I get it.
Star Tours.
What are we talking about again?
Star Tours.
I thought it was interesting that they went with the adventures continue instead of the adventure continues. So that was always interesting.
Well, because you're having multiple adventures now. That's the whole point.
I know, but remember Light Years Above the Rest?
But that's why Laughing Place pays very important attention to nomenclature, because we know they do. They sat and they had meetings, I'm sure, and they determined, well, no, it's going to be multiple adventures. So therefore you have to say adventures continue, because if you say adventure continues, then it's a singular adventure that goes on and on and on and on. This is very important.
So when this first opened, there's like 4 different places where you can have one of 2 or 3 different things. So it's easy to figure out the total number of combinations. My memory is the total number multiplied up to like 53.
Yes.
And I swear they put out a press release that said Star Tours: The Adventures Continue more than 52 combinations.
It was
It's not wrong.
It was something along those lines. I'm pretty sure you're right.
One less than the actual.
No, I don't think it was quite that bad. It may have been like more than 50, and it was 50.
Yeah, I can remember that. It's like very much pushing that there are multiple adventures, and then we figured out it was like, yeah, it's 53.
But no, the press release, as I recall, you are right that they
over 52 ways. Yeah, 1 over 52. Anyway, one of the ways to experience it was to see Darth Vader. So, am I correct? This was the first time you. What am I doing?
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time we got to see Darth Vader on Star Tours?
No.
All right, I tried. Where is he in Star Tours, the original?
In the side, when you're doing the Death Star run.
Okay, so he's not really on Star Tours. He's kind of on the side of Star Tours.
Yeah.
So this was cool, though. He's in 3D.
Oh, the side of Darth Vader.
He's in 3D. He's right next to you.
Yes, he's coming at you. He's using the Force, and you're moving around.
Talking right to you. And this is kind of like, wow, this is not your father's Star Tours. So can you talk about, either one of you guys talk about what it was like, Star Tours 2.0?
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Well, like I said, I was lucky enough to be at the studios after you guys all got to enjoy a great media event for the Parks Blog meetup, which it was our first time going on it and being able to experience it, like you guys were saying, with the giant nerds, and we're all freaking out and we get on there. And I'm pretty sure that the first time I wrote it, I was the rebel spy, which at that point just
that's awesome.
Go berserk.
Yeah.
And that was something else that was great, where actually, they could identify that I had extra knowledge as opposed to everybody else in the cabin. So they picked me out specifically.
No, you must have been unbearable the rest of the day.
Wait, that's not how it goes? You mean it's a cast member that just walks out and goes, yeah, that person.
I can't imagine what Jeremiah was like the rest of the day after he'd been the rebel spy.
He bought this shirt.
I never did. I always wanted to buy it, but I never bought the shirt. No.
I am shocked.
I know, especially since I have an affinity for his T-shirts. But no, but all of it was so it took you to that next level. Like you were living the Star Wars adventure. I mean, yes, there was, as Gideon said, there was problems with the timeline, and there's a great story that I'll go into after Shelley talks about her first time. But it was just the upgrade, which was actually technically a downgrade because it was you were originally a Star Speeder 3000, and then you went to the Star Speeder 1000, and yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense. But
we actually have a question from out there. Disney how do they choose the Rebel Spy? Is it a specific seat, Jeremiah?
it is not. It's usually towards the center. When you sit down, and when the cast member goes outside and checks the exit ramps, and then comes back in and closes the exit doors. And then they used to stop in the dead center of the cabin to give you the, okay, so you're going to do this and you're going to do this, but don't put your glasses on. And the cameras are up in the center of the section of the Star Speeder, and they point down and they take a picture at that point. The cast member goes out and make sure we all pull on our yellow strap, because our seatbelts go from left to right and left to right only. And then they walk out, and then they have a screen. And originally I heard that it was the computer did it, but it's definitely the cast member. And they'll usually pick the little kid in the seat, and they'll select it. And then they have to select whether it's a male or a female, which now we have a whole different thing where they just kind of say the Rebel Spy is, not he or she is. Mm-hmm. And then, it goes into the process, and then it pops up, and sometimes you may be 3D if the probe droid pops it up on 3D, but if it's Darth Vader, I believe it pops it up on the right hand or on the right hand screen.
Thank you, Jeremiah, for that succinct explanation.
That's what I'm here for.
I meant to ask this question. When you heard that Star Tours was closing to make way for 2.0, did that excite you? Did that scare you?
I was really excited. I just really like it when I'm a fan of new things. So I was wanting something different, because you go on it so often, you're just like, okay, and just kind of go through the motions. But I was really excited.
Oh man, click on Mike right there.
I was scared because it was definitely
Mike was there in the fun times, man. I want Mike to come talk about what it was like to be at Disney, because I wanted to see that. I didn't get to see that. My parents didn't want to spend part of our Disney vacation watching the Mickey Mouse Club, but I'd have liked to have done that. Okay, go ahead.
Jeremiah.
To me, it was a little scary because they announced it was coming back in 3D, and we hadn't had a lot of 3D attraction converts that, the stuff, most 3D attractions were either the stuff at Magic Eye Theater or stuff at Universal. So this coming in as 3D with a simulator, I can remember a lot of people were very concerned about motion sickness when it was first announced.
I think there would have been a lot more excitement had the series itself been in a more fan embraced state itself, because obviously when the original Star Tours hit, that was like woohoo, big time, celebratory times. Everybody was all about the phenomenon of C-3PO and Leia and everybody. But then by the time they were changing it out, there was like, are they going to throw in Jar Jar? I mean, I'm not one of those, by the way, but a lot of people were, very concerned about, well, is it going to be too heavy in the elements of the Star Wars universe that I have not fond of? And so, that was one of the I don't know. I feel like in some ways that kind of put just a hint of a damper on what people had been really, really looking forward to.
But people have always wanted to do the pod racing sequence. Mm-hmm. They always rocket rods to turn into pod racing. Mm-hmm. That was the one thing we always wanted to experience. So they gave in to the fans there when they brought back Star Tours. One of your options was the pod racing.
Pod racing, you got to go to Kashyyyk,
Hoth. But what's interesting is, so this was a random attraction. You had, I wish I remember the numbers, but I think there were like 3 in the first destination and then 3 in the second destination. So you could ride this and only get to see 2 of the 6 places.
Yeah.
And not the one you really wanted to do. And then you could wait another 2 hours and ride it again and still not to get to see the one you really wanted to do. And that
see?
There we go.
Ben works with us. He remembers that press release.
It was 54 over 53. Yes.
Well,
that was one of the things that really scared me about the reception to this ride. Is are people going to be so disappointed that they don't get to go to the destination they want to get to? The random is great for us repeat people, but when you're on your once in a lifetime trip and you want to go to Hoth and you end up going to Chewy Land, you're going to be disappointed.
Chewy
That's
I
not
went
what
to Chewy Land.
If I wanted to go to Hoth and I went to Chewy Land, I would be disappointed.
Talking about Chewy Land, or I'm sorry, talking about Hoth. I want to say that this was one of the things that they talked about during the original event that I went to, where people were asking about the timeline, because this was set between the prequels and the original trilogy. And when you went to Hoth, there was the AT-ATs. Sorry, Doobie, the AT-ATs.
Actually, I say AT-AT. She usually says AT-AT. I was so confused.
And somebody, when the Imagineers were proposing all the different options, they took it to George Lucas and he said, okay, here's this, here's that. And he said, well, where are the AT-ATs? Where is Hoth? And they kind of called out that it was before the original trilogy. And he goes, that doesn't matter. People want to see the AT-ATs. So it was Lucas that just didn't care about his own timeline. That's why the AT-ATs ended up in there.
Yeah, Lucas's love for Star Wars, I think, is far exceeded by the fans' love for Star Wars. I mean, he cares, but not nearly to the level that Mike Celestino does. So, unlike the original Star Tours, they actually did change this one on a regular basis. As new movies came out, they would change destinations. Sometimes they would even get rid of the random aspect so that you could always go to the new destination, as Rebecca got to experience with Rise of the Resistance. But I think my favorite of the new destinations was this one right here, because this is my favorite of the three movies, the three recent movies, Last Jedi, and going to Saltland was really, really cool with the red stuff and stuff. What did I get wrong this time?
I mean, it is salt. Crate. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Going to Crate was really awesome. Do you guys have any favorite destinations between the original Star Tours Adventures Continuum and all the changes they've made for the updated movies?
Okay, Shelley's thinking. So,
I like that, Mike.
well, I love Crate because it calls back to the original Star Tours when you're going through the Crystal Caverns and you're experiencing just like it felt on the asteroid, the ice asteroid. But my favorite still is the one event where I think it was that one, the last time that they added, and we all go on, and then we're sitting there, and then at the very end, you fly into Batuu, and we knew nothing about this, so we're all just sitting there, and we'd seen concept art of it before, but we hadn't seen anything, and they didn't tell us anything about it, and all of a sudden we're just like, wait, what was that? Everybody
I think I did this
ran off and got back on.
That was really cool. That was super cool. I think I did give you a brief, so I got so excited. I was like,
I actually got to attend this media event at Disneyland because our Star Wars correspondent Mike Celestino was at the premiere or the junket or something for Rise of Skywalker. So he was at events related to the actual film that was debuting that weekend, you know, that they were celebrating with this. And in many ways I'm glad because you know, in some ways it was a bit of a spoiler as far as like the film in a way, because you have visitors, right? You have these legendary luminaries from the Star Wars universe who come and speak to you about your, you know, part in the adventure. And, you know, I hadn't yet, without seeing the film.
Ooh, look at Shelley. Shelley likes her.
Without
Shelley's going to get a cult after this.
Without seeing the film, you know, it was like, okay, but for me, I went crazy. I was like, the way Shelley's talking about Batuu, that was me when we were in the fallen Death Star,
Waterland.
and we dropped the surface, and it was a Dianoga. Get not just one. There were many, and it was a full body.
And you got to see the full body.
Oh, and I was like, I was so excited, and it was really frustrating because whenever something exciting happens in my Star Wars world, thanks to Laughing Place, I can now reach out to Mike Celestino and be like, and he like can geek out with me.
Oh no, you were geeking out with me across the country.
So I like Jeremiah instead. I was texting him. He was over at Batu East. Jeremiah. It was so fun. So yeah, I'm still so excited, and I cannot wait for the toy. They showed in the D23 talking about the upcoming Galaxy's Edge toys. A Dianoga toy is coming, and I'm so excited because the last Dianoga toy that happened was like Kenner, and it looked like Nessie. It didn't really fit what you would think the Dianoga would look like, and so I'm so pumped. So yeah, okay, sorry. So yeah, there you go. You can continue.
I like Waterland too, by the way.
One of the things when it wasn't this last update, but the update previous to that, not only did we get new destinations, but they put in alternates of the destinations that already existed. So when you'd be going through Naboo, there were actually, I think now 4 different versions, because when you crashed into the palace, either the fighter nose could break the glass, or the fighter nose would break, and then the pit droid would complain. But one of the things that is probably the hardest thing to actually see, hardest because I've seen it once in the entire 3 years that it's been around, when you're flying through the center and you're passing Gungans, you actually hit Jar Jar at one point. But
No.
yeah, just like Gio pointed out about the Wookiee on Kashyyyk, the same thing happens when you're going through the center, through the Gungan area. You hit and he slides off. But again, I've seen that once in the entire time, and I go on Star Tours almost every visit I do to the studios.
And that's interesting. I mean, that's what I was hoping no one heard it. That's one of the things. That's what I was talking about. I mean, it's great. I don't get it.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll explain it to you later.
Okay.
No, just go on.
It's awesome for people like us who go all the time, but for the occasional visitor, it's kind of a disappointment. But
you think so?
I don't know. That's what I wonder.
I don't think so.
Really?
Are any of them a super disappointment?
Well, no, but if you want to pod race and you don't get to pod race, that's disappointing.
Well, but if you're a casual, do you know that you could pod race?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, because it might be in an ad or something.
Well, maybe.
Like I said, if I never liked going to Wookiee Place. That did not make me happy.
I'm sorry. I'm still a fan of the classic, so I'm a real downer when it comes to all that. There was something about the ice caverns that I really. The pacing of that particular journey, from beginning to end, it all except for I like Dianoga, so I'm okay with that. But
my favorite destination other than Salt Planet is the city. What's the city one called? Coruscant, because Star Wars to me is full of a bunch of grungy places, and I like the pristineness of Coruscant. I think the only place in the Star Wars universe I like more is where do they raise
Camino.
The stormtroopers?
Yeah, Camino.
I like Camino because it's just so clean and pristine, and it's so un-Star Wars-like, and I love that.
He likes very sterile environments.
Very sterile, yes.
But if you go to Mustafar and you fight Boba Fett, then you go through the under construction Death Star, you get to see the mighty microscope again.
I don't even think I've ever experienced that one. I've experienced very, 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 very few of the.
The one at Boba Fett, because he throws a sonic charge at you, and then you shoot it back and it blows up. It's really cool.
Oh, that's very cool. Oh, nice. Boba Fett.
That's my guy.
I want to see
And Lando.
She's such a fan.
Did you like him in Expose and Lost?
Oh, stop.
No, sorry.
Where did we go?
Their last time.
We saw Boba Fett and all that. She's talking about last time we went, Giddy? Okay. I don't remember. Wow. Okay.
Camino is Clino. Yes, that's why I like Camino. Very Clino.
Oh, yes. Gideon's right. It's Geonosis, not Mustafa.
Oh, not Mustafar, Geonosis. Thank you, Gideon.
By the way, when you guys were talking about timeline stuff, I think Gideon was sharing the frustration that some people have with the fact that now C-3PO is on the vessel with you, and you enter into the battle that we see in Rise of Skywalker. But that is not where C-3PO is in the film, right? In the film, he is not, missing aboard a tourism vehicle in the midst of the battle. Okay.
I'm so upset that they edited out the Star Speeder 1000 that was originally supposed to be in the film.
Yeah, that's sad. But you can find it on Twitter because the gentleman who was involved in the creation of that sequence of film, he has shared the full extended cut of that. I guess it was on one of those specials that they've had. And so, you can see now on Twitter, you can see that stuff. To quote George, when it comes to continuity, who cares? Oh, okay, fine. But it doesn't bother me, the whole C-3PO thing. But I know it bothers my son, and I'm pretty sure that Mike is the same. Mike Celestino has had the same question, and I will tell you that it came during the presentation that we saw. When they opened this portion of the Star Tours attraction, it was very clear in the way that the WDI team was talking to us about the transformation of this attraction that there was a lot of flux going on with the story of the film. And it seemed very clear in the way that they were talking that I would say it felt like at some point it was just kind of like, well, this is what we're going to do. and hopefully it'll make sense within the context of whatever ends up on screen. Because like I say, I think with the film that there's more room for them to kind of play around with the timeline and all that kind of thing, whereas an attraction, you've got a smaller window between edit and presentation.
You mentioned there was a lot of flux. Was it a flux capacitor?
Yes, it was a flux
capacitor.
Yeah.
Shelley, without any spoilers, what did you think of Mando last week?
Okay, so there were 3 parts to my reaction. 1, I gasped. 2, I paused. 3, I may have run around my house like a crazy lady, screaming and like making weird sounds for like about 2 to 3 minutes. So that was my reaction. Is that pretty spoiler free?
This is why we need everyone in our team to film themselves while they're watching these.
We need Mandalorian reaction cam.
Well, that would have been fun with me on the Skyliner watching it going.
So good.
If you don't watch The Mandalorian out there, watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah, have fun.
It's awesome. So I think that pretty much covers the rise. And one of the disappointing things about Star Tours is they never created any merchandise for it through the whole.
Yeah, none.
Whatever. Jeremiah, what do you got to show today? Don't bring up the same magazines.
I know that I have some action figures from back in the day, but again, all those are in storage. I know Gideon has a Star Speeder 1000 somewhere right around you guys.
Several.
The
travel posters. I love
the travel
posters. The Endor with the Ewok village, the Bespin, the beautiful like sunset setting of Bespin.
Donna sent us this right here. She messaged that to us. What is that? Is that a patch, a sticker?
It's an enormous sticker.
I can't see what it actually says on it. Thank you, Gideon.
There's one of the die casts that we have.
There's my beautiful hand modeling showing that too.
Wait, was that Gideon or was that Thing?
and then they've released several of the larger ride vehicles that you can like fit your action figures into. But the one that Gideon wants is the one that was in really limited release, and so it's always really super expensive on eBay.
It wasn't the one that was in limited release. The limited edition of 10,000 is the one that we find.
Oh yeah, okay. So they did one that was like a limited edition of 10,000 pieces, right? But it has 3 doors. But the one that Gideon likes has 5 doors.
And it was a normal run.
And it was from the classic run. And so therefore it's far more challenging to find. So it's one of those, as a Disney fan, I've spent way too many hours watching eBay auctions of Star Speeder toys in hope that I can maybe score one for a little less than 5 times its MSRP.
So, and I'm
Is it
sure
5 times? No, it's more than that.
Yeah, it's
6 or 7 times its MSRP typically.
and our pin expert. Have there been any Star Tours pins along the way, Jeremiah?
Oh, geez. If I could count how many different Star Tours pins, one of my favorites, though, came out, I think it was right after the original one closed, and it was a piece of history, and it had one of the film slots on it. So that one, I know that I have at least 2 of somewhere that were my favorites because it looked like the front cabin of the Star Speeder, and the screen was the actual piece of film.
And it means so much to you that you know you have it somewhere.
Again, if we spent a day going through all my pins, we'd spend 5 days going through all my pins.
That's the next series we're gonna have here on Laughing Place. Rebecca and Jeremiah we go back and so this is what I found in my box. And then Jeremiah this is what I
here's this one. Here's this one.
We'll just tell stories about all the things that we have. Seriously,
apparently
Donna?
People would love to see that.
Really?
I think everybody has like a Disney box like full of like special things.
I have a Disney room.
You know what I'm saying? Like it would be cool to like know what's your most special Disney thing.
I wish I had a Disney box. I have a Disney bookcase of boxes.
And just to say how rare that Star Speeder is, I just saw one on eBay over $1,000.
Yep.
We're not buying that one.
From Japan, by the way.
We're not buying that one.
Wow, enough. Oh, it's so cool.
And the limited edition one, less than 300.
And so, of course, a lot of the merchandise is Star Wars merchandise in general. So there's kind of a crossover there, but there's plenty that is Star Tours, like the thing we showed you, the Leader in Galactic sightseeing.
Jeremiah, I feel like back when this attraction first opened, they had remember how visors were so popular?
Mm-hmm.
They had one that was screen printed with the Star Tours that had I know the light up ones were popular, but I feel like you could get one that was like themed to Star Tours. I'm not sure.
That sounds so familiar.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah.
So, because I used to wear one of those plastic. So mine was blue. I had the blue plastic sun visor that you could get at Disneyland that had like the 5 little lights across. That would go back and forth and back and forth. Because I would wear that when we go see the electrical parade. So
this will be right about the perfect time. And again, because this is Dig a Little Deeper and Laughing Place live stream, we're going off topic. Remember the Mickey Mouse hats that had the different colors and different designs that were like everybody had to buy every single different version that came out? They were like the original lounge flies, but they were like $15 back then.
No,
I don't.
Go get yours and show us.
I don't remember this.
They're just the classic M, and it had Mickey's face in it, but it had different colors and different designs, and it was just a baseball cap. But they put out so many of them. I can remember like seeing my friends wearing a different one each day.
Oh wow!
You're not going to show us one?
I know you'll have.
I don't wear baseball.
For Disney Parks Live, you'll have to find a picture online so you can show it to us because I just do not remember this at all. For me, the first kind of like thing like that I remember people really. For me, it was those beanies when the beanies became a thing and like
Beanie Babies.
Yeah, and people wanted like, I want to make sure I get this one and this one, and this one. I remember that.
I have all of them.
The beanies?
Yes.
You were a beanie person?
Yes.
So-
I still have all my Beanie Babies. I won't get rid of them.
Did you do the Hotel Mickey, the bellhop Mickey, where you had a little suitcase for each hotel?
Where they at, Shelley?
Oh, that is so.
They're at my parents' house.
Oh, I love
They're
it.
like my favorite thing. Like I had even like because the Disney store catalogs would come in, I'd be like, I've got to get them all, and I would like circle them, and then I'd rank the order.
As we talked about before, nomenclature is very important. So yes,
Disney mini beanbag plush. My favorite were the flubber that had the magnets on them.
Oh, that's
No,
all
the-
Like I would
The
throw
flubber
them
that you
and get
smacked
multiples.
did
I
the
was
giggle.
really good. They're my favorite. I love those things.
One of my favorite items I ever had was the flubber where you smacked it not on your forehead like Doobie likes to, but it had a little sound thing in there, a giggle. I probably killed about 3 of those.
I'll be right back.
Becca will be right back. I never cared for Beanie Babies. Excuse me, Disney mini beanbag plush whatsoever. But I did like pins. Have a few. So we've had multiple people here say they'd love us to show off pins sometime. So I really think Jeremiah maybe like start a new show, or maybe we'll just have like a Jeremiah segment at the conclusion of this show or something where Jeremiah can just go through a few of his favorite pins. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Can we do that after the new year? Because then I'll have more of them.
That way you get to write them off.
See, Jeremiah, I can join the fun with that. Look, I've got pin galore.
I don't see any.
This is one of my pins.
I see
books.
pin backs.
Oh, is it? I open it the other way.
Yeah.
Here we go. There you go. Pins.
Oh yeah. Here.
Lots of pins.
So,
Okay.
I got
Hang
that.
on.
And then if you get bored with pins, then we can
Buttons.
into buttons. Buttons and more buttons.
Who's got the button?
Buttons have more memories for me than pins.
So these were the caps.
I remember those.
Oh, that's adorable.
And they brought them back a couple of years ago, but they just never caught on. But I can remember, I know that I at least had one. I may have a picture somewhere of me in one of them, and they're just very basic, like the Mickey, but they'd have different colors all over the place.
Mike's coming up. Look at this. Collected JCPenney Disney mini snow globes.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I missed out on those. That sounds fun.
15 years.
That's amazing. Oh, do you post pictures of them anywhere, Mike? I'd love to see some of those. That'd be fun. And Jeffrey down there, he's got shadow boxes and tubs of pins.
I collected watches for a long, long time.
I had that problem, especially somebody who doesn't even wear watches.
Yeah, we must have.
At one time, I probably had about 50 Disney watches.
Yeah, we must have.
Oh,
50.
wow.
We used to display them on the wall. Yeah, we haven't done that since we moved to California. But in Florida, I set them up so that he could, because he liked to wear them, and so we set them up in such a way that they were on hooks, so he could put them on or display it. So yeah, so very cool.
You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/laughingplace, and you can messenger it to us there, or you can just email it to us at editor@laughingplace.com, whatever's easiest for you.
Yeah.
And we'll get it. Just let us know you sent it. We'll go chase it down. We can show it.
My mom. We've got this. No, mom has pins. Okay.
Jeremiah, I'm curious. Where'd Jeremiah go?
We used to. My mom.
1 minute in case.
In our house, my mom collected those. Do you remember the Disney store mugs?
Wait, keep that up for a second.
That would celebrate each movie. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
During your moments. Oh, and you got that. It was like was it a giveaway thing? Like a.
Yeah, it was a Kodak film and that kind of stuff.
You buy too many, and then you can pay this amount, and you can get a watch.
Can you hold that up again, Jeremiah? Because I love how that proves that Jeremiah once again does not know how to do an unboxing.
That'll be the show. Jeremiah finally unboxes. Like Geralda. Like Geraldo with the ball.
Yes. Jeremiah finds out there's nothing actually in there. He's been carrying around this empty box all these years.
Oh, those are
Spoiler alert.
beautiful. Those are really
Oh, that's awesome.
Is there like one pin, Jeremiah, you wish you had?
Oh, shush.
Yes. I've had many of my holy grails over my lifetime. But there was one that was a Walt Disney Classic collection from one of their events, and it was the Hitchhiking Ghost dangling.
Ooh.
Disney store pin, yes.
Oh,
Never did those. Always park pins for us.
okay, and we're done now with Star Tours.
I like merchandise talk. Even though I don't care about merchandise, but it's fun to hear other people
Oh, that's
be
fun.
passionate about
Opening day pin. I think I have that one on Geo. Let me see if I can find it right here. Can you like the boys of
I know those are great for so one of my favorite watches is this cheapo. I mean, cheapo, as in it's literally a cheap watch. They gave that Count It Down to DCA's opening day. It wasn't. You have that one, Jeremiah?
Okay, here's one of my favorite pins. We totally stumbled on it. I'm not sure if the glare is going to be bad, but let's see. Can I get it without the glare? Oh, my fingers are so bad. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But it's Ursula, and the dangle is Flotsam and Jetsam, and it was for the first anniversary of Walt Disney World's World of Disney store.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it had that room with the villains and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun. We just were in the store that day on vacation from California, and it's like, oh, cool. I'll
Once
pick that
again, it's in the box. Goodness, Jeremiah. I wore mine all the time.
This I just acquired recently as we're going towards the 20th anniversary.
Okay.
He sent you
I-
that.
It's off my angle. Thanks.
So Mike in the chat said he collected J.C. Penney snow globes for 15 years. Here they are. Thank you for sending that to us, Mike. They are beautiful. They're
So cute.
They're so cute.
Oh, with the date on each one. Oh, that is so sweet.
What happened in 2016, Mike?
I know.
Did they stop or did you?
Yeah. Well, I wonder if at some point they stopped dating them or something, because I know you can lose interest if they stop dating.
Yeah.
What's that, Jeremiah?
Is that called marriage?
It's the banner for
the
the
banner.
Millennium Celebration.
Oh, cool.
From what?
The Millennium Celebration.
Oh, of course. Oh, Mike says they stopped making them. That's too bad. That's
a bummer.
That's the whole collection, though. 15 years. Way to go.
Hold on. I may have one.
Tokyo used to do like date pins, right? So you could like get a whole month calendar on a single pin. I thought that was clever. I wish they would have
Like
done
how
that.
all like
I wish
looking for stuff. Hold on. Where did I
Mike says he has to run. Stop by his Star Wars Galaxy Edge group. Thank you very much for
Oh,
participating,
sure.
Mike.
Oh,
Really.
it's Mike.
Well, thank you.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Now Jeremiah knows Mike.
Mike, we're glad you stopped by for frivolity.
Is that Jessica Rabbit?
It is.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
censored. All right.
She's
Well,
not bad.
What did you go get, Shelly?
I was trying to find it. There's a special pen that you can only get if you do a Disney production. So if Disney is shooting something in the park, they have a Goofy with. Do you have that one?
No.
Oh, did I give you that one?
No, I got this one of my first visits because they were filming outside the park, and
Yeah, with Goofy with his little boop, 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 boop.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
And like you can only get it if you do that. And then there's also a special pen for if you go into the Disney event group. So they have their own Tinkerbell pen. I was trying to find them.
this is the first one. This is the production one that I got in 2000,
Oh, that's cool.
and it's turning on its own on me. There we go.
What does it say underneath? I can't
Walt
see.
Disney
Walt
World.
Disney World.
Very cool. At one of the first kind of special events that I attended was at the Disneyland Main Street Theater. What's it called? The great one was Mr. Lincoln. What's that specific
The
place
Opera
called?
House.
Thank you, the Opera House. I knew I was saying.
I thought you were going to pull out a certain pin and show it and stick it in my face.
No, and then they were honoring Walt Disney's birthday with the release of the CD that they did where you could learn about Walt and his family and everything. And Diane Disney Miller was there and all sorts of Disney historians. It was this panel, and it was like I want to say it was like $45 for the panel, but you left with a copy. They fed you. You had this panel, and you left with the CD-ROM that was this interactive Walt digest in a way, and it was and a pin. It was so cool, and a pin. That's very fun.
So what's beautiful is these pins aren't just merchandise, but everyone has a story behind it.
No,
a wonderful memory that lives on forever in our hearts.
No, some of them do. A lot of them, I have no idea how.
Usually, Jeremiah's story is I woke up at 4 a.m. to get this pin.
Jeremiah could go get those pins, but Jeremiah is right now weighed down with pins. So here's one of those unique pins.
Oh.
So the pin was created for the media event for the original Alien Encounter. And because Eisner didn't like the original Alien Encounter, this pin never really made it anywhere other than onto boards.
Hey, Eisner did not like the original Alien Encounter?
Wasn't scary enough.
Okay, so he didn't like it for the wrong reason. It did not belong in Magic Kingdom. It was too scary for Magic Kingdom. Are you disagreeing with me, Jeremiah?
No, I agree that it was too scary, but it was one of the most amazing attractions because of the fact that it was scary.
As a pin collector, Jeremiah, would you agree with this statement?
Over the years, they've definitely fallen behind, but recently they've definitely kicked into high gear. There are some amazing pins that have come out recently. Again, I have pins like
that Fantasia one. The Fantasia one that just came out recently was striking. It was really, really beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. Okay, little secret, you guys. I know Jeremiah has that one, so that's why I brought it up because I just wanted to.
I don't want it.
Let's see what we can see here. Oh, there he's back.
He's back.
What pin?
Jeremiah, have you ever bought the same pin twice, forgetting you bought it the first time?
Yes. So this came out just recently for the anniversary.
Those are pretty.
Yeah, this is the 3-pin set. And it's limited to 1,000. Here, hang on, Doopy.
No.
What? Don't do it, Jeremiah. Don't do it.
Oh no.
And the angel sang.
Wow,
It's an actual unboxing with Jeremiah.
Wow.
So I would take them off the card, but look how many pin backs are on this.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Do you ever actually wear pins, Jeremiah?
No, there was a time where I'd wear a lanyard. And I've gone to pin events and worn lanyards to trade, but I have also found that I was never designed to wear pins.
Well, my wife here has some geek in her.
I always wanted to get one of those.
I bought it more as a photographer's vest because it's really nice. It has the way the back was on it it's nice. Got the nice like ventilation on it and everything. And so back when I had to like carry all kinds of stuff for LP, it was like because that when Laughing Place first started, we took pictures on something called a Mavica, and our media was a 3.5-inch diskette, and you could take about 10 pictures on each one. And we were shooting several hundred pictures every day in the theme park. So my pockets would be heavy laden with diskettes.
Those were the days.
Hey, Doobie.
We've been doing this for a long time. We started initially taking photos, running over to a photo store where you could do 1 hour development, taking them home, scanning them, then making an article. Then we moved on to diskettes. Then we moved on to like CDs. And yeah, and now everybody just takes it with their phone.
Oh, is it a real unboxing?
Are you going to buy
a
something?
sealed box?
Oh, this is exciting.
Ooh. Thank you,
This is
everybody.
how prepared I am. I'm using my keys. To open it.
Star Tours. We had a really lovely time talking about Star Tours.
But our numbers are better talking about merchandise.
We will be back again soon to talk about more attraction fun and reminisce. But right now, it got us started talking about.
I'm doing a real unboxing.
Now we're doing an unboxing.
Jeremiah, for the very first time, is going to actually unbox something all the way.
For those of you who don't follow Laughing Place religiously, Jeremiah is our East Coast correspondent, and he does a lovely job of walking live through the parks and taking us along on his journey. And he went recently for the Haunted Mansion Funko organist.
And he
unveiled.
He teased that he was going to do an unboxing. We were so excited. And he took someplace and he put the camera out and he took the Funko out of the outer box or something.
There were like 3 in a box.
And he took one out and held it up.
And it was just the Funko in its box.
Jeremiah, do you understand what unboxing means? He's like, no, let me take it. This stays in its box.
So yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, let's get a close up of that. Hold it up.
These are the 3 a.m. pins.
Oh, they just tried
3 for 65 years of Disney theme parks. They created specific pins that don't really matter for the entire world. But
so it's the Yeti on the Matterhorn, the castle. I can't. The
that too,
right? Or no, is that the Yeti with Everest? I'm thinking it's specific.
It's either or. No, that's the Matterhorn because there's the submarine down there.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that detail. Thank you. Then we've got the castle. We've got the Small World. What's this in the corner down here? I don't. Nope. Oh, is it Ratatouille?
It is.
What is it, Jeremiah?
What is it, Jeremiah?
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
But wait, sounds like
one more. There's Albert with Mystic Manor. So really, if you look at this, you have Disneyland, Epcot, and Hong Kong.
What an interesting choice of attractions.
And you woke up at 3 a.m. to buy these, Jeremiah?
Yes.
Is it true, Jeremiah, that these pins are still available?
No. They were the next day.
Yeah, you can never bank on that.
I know. I'm not blaming you. If you want it, you get it.
Here's the back that has different attractions from around the world. And then I can't see this at all, but right there is Tron.
Oh,
yeah, the little Tron coaster.
The little Tron Light Cycle / Run, yeah.
Oh,
that's really cool.
Was this for Disneyland 65th, John is asking?
Yes.
And this was a D23 thing,
exclusive.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And it was limited to. So according to the back of this, it says limited edition pin set of 6.
Wow.
So
Congratulations, Jeremiah. I see why you woke up so early. Should have cornered the market. Just bought them all.
I did. Actually, there are 6. So
no, they're priceless.
Well, they're out of the box now, so it doesn't matter. I can't see if there's an edition size on there, so I'm trying to.
I know. You and Jeremiah are both drinking Cokes, and we're not getting paid for this. So can you guys please cover your labels? Maybe that's much better. We're going to do some product placement. We need to get paid for it.
I love that pen.
I got to back it up so you can actually read it. What do you think it says?
To all who come to this happy
place. It says, here you leave today. But Dude, how much are pins nowadays? How much are pins nowadays, Jeremiah?
These are $4.95, right?
How much? No, but seriously, how much are pins now? Do you know?
Basic pin, that would probably be at least a $17 to $19 pin because it's a dangle.
What was it, 14?
I can't. $5? $6.
Yep.
Yeah,
Seriously?
the least expensive pin that you can purchase right now, I believe, is $9.99.
Really? Because I never mind. I saw some on the internet that were.
I have a bag of those too. If you want pins for trading.
No.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. I found a Star Wars one.
Star Tours.
No, it's not Star Tours, but
I haven't shown a single pin. Can you get that one out for me?
This one?
Yeah. This is a great memory because this was our very first Walt Disney World media event. So remember, every pin has a story. The Millennium Celebration.
Yeah.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
I knew our second hour was becoming pin time.
Oh, Star Wars weekend.
Too fun.
I got a wow from Donna. And my best memory of that event is they took the fountain in front of American Adventure. They filled it with ice and wine bottles. And you just walk by, grab a bottle of wine, and keep walking. I don't drink, but it still struck me as a pretty awesome thing.
Wine, but mostly beer. It was mostly beer. Yeah, so, I know. Benji's not wrong. There were so many of that pin that they actually had to get rid of them because
it wasn't that pin. It was the round pin with that logo on.
Okay.
That pin trading just celebrated its 20th anniversary, and we had the 20th pin trading event, or the 20th pin trading event. And this was one of the pins that was created for that specific. It was a reproduction of the original, but done in gold.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I picked a good one.
Yeah, the ribbon dancers was here's a filler pin that we're just going to use because that was the first lanyard when guests that could come and stay at the resorts, they would get 2 of those, one to keep, one to trade. Mm-hmm. And then they just littered lanyards for decades.
Wow, guys, this has been so much fun. I can't even tell you.
Okay, now I think we'll have to do this more often.
We just have to do
kind of have a little segment that's just a show and tell.
A show your stuff day. I'm gonna take off my okay. Hey, I saw Shelly's reaction to Lando.
I'm not sure if I should be amused or disturbed by this. Is this amusing or disturbing? Oh, now that's that's delightful. That is delightful.
So,
light.
To wrap up and bring it full circle. Those were the opening day for both Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios jumbo pins, limited to 1,000 each.
Oh,
those are $4.95 each?
Yeah.
Yes.
$49.95.
Awesome. Guys.
You're still not highest without going over, Rebecca.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. How much were those?
Do we want to let's play a little game, shall we? Everybody, guess how much these pins were.
Were they sold as a pair or individually?
One was
Wait, question for you, Jeremiah.
That was the ones they showed.
Huh?
The Mickey dressed as a reporter was one of the pins.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. So, and you can kind of see the print up on the top. It actually has the opening day.
Ooh,
and what was the edition size?
1,000.
That's nice.
I'm going to go with $69.99 or 95 or whatever the current Disney suffix is.
Okay, Rebecca?
Oh, what did you say?
I said $69.95.
Oh, I was thinking $74.95. So.
Shelly? $1.
I'm going to say $124.99.
Wow.
No, because I know Jeremiah's budget.
Wow. But the fact
you guys all went over.
Did we really? Oh, $65. Oh, it's $10 off. Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Why was my question funny? Because Ben, the pin where Mickey is dressed as a reporter, I don't know if you have it on the pin card, but the
You guessed.
Oh, that one.
yes.
Yes.
That's,
Do you have that one, Jeremiah?
That's Jeremiah's Holy Grail pin. That's the pin that I have told Jeremiah that I have willed to him.
Yes.
Because
So
it's
if
one of the few I hold on to.
So if we die under mysterious circumstances,
Yeah, exactly. Go find Jeremiah.
check Jeremiah.
Let's say, find Jeremiah. Find the pin. Find the pin, and you will find out who killed them.
Follow the pin.
Yeah.
It was in Tomorrowland with a pin back.
He doesn't have it on a card anymore, but it's the one when they launched pin trading at Disneyland Resort.
It was an edition of 600.
They
wasn't
gave
it?
I think it was smaller than that.
It was an edition of 600.
Okay.
It was an edition of 600. It was the launch day of not only pin trading, but the reopening of Autopia, sponsored by Chevron. Who's
With Kathy Ireland kicking it off.
That was fun.
Yes. And it was a rainy day, and the traffic was really bad to get into Disneyland. So a lot of people bailed out. So they think they probably gave out less than 300 of those
Oh,
to the
man.
people that was there.
Wow.
What does that go for on eBay?
Price
Whatever you get for it on eBay. That's what it goes for on eBay. I've learned that. Whatever you get for it on eBay.
I am very proud of having that pin because I got it while working very hard. I had to watch Kathy Ireland give a speech. It was
that was a fascinating media.
I remember
event.
Kathy Ireland and I remember Terry Garr at the Autopia.
I remember, and I remember Paul Presser was a white T-shirt.
Yeah, Paul Presser was looking like muscle guy with a nice white
this
T-shirt.
Nice, tight. It was funny. It was like, wow, okay, that's not what I'm used to seeing in Disney exec.
Is he holding a pencil in that pen?
He has it, over like in his ear, like a classic, I think he has a fedora.
Yes, and it says press on it.
Wait, is he holding the pen or is it in his ear? I can't recall.
I think it's behind his ear.
Yeah, because it was a similar design to what they used to do when the way they used to designate media when you would go to an event, they would give you this badge that said press and it had a picture of reporter Mickey on it. And they would, oh yeah, that's it. Juby found a picture of it on Click.
I do enjoy that our numbers are pretty high right now because we're just we're talking about pins.
Fun. Everybody can relate. They've all had pins in their everybody, even if you don't say you're a pin collector, if you're a Disney fan somewhere, you have more pins than you ever thought you had.
One.
Yeah, that's the one.
We've got this buddy.
Yeah, he's cute.
Not kept at our house. He's in a safe deposit box.
No.
Don't come knocking.
Stop.
Do you want to know something fun about pin trading? It's actually how I got my daughter to talk, because she was she went through a phase where she started to regress with her speech, and so it was like all up to her. She just was like, I'm not talking anymore. So we were at Walt Disney World, and she would point to people's pins, and I'm like, you know what, I got you. So I bought her a lanyard with pins all on it, and I said, if you want to trade pins, you're the one that's going to have to say something. And so that's how she started talking more. And now 14 years later, I just regret every moment of that decision.
That's funny. In other news, that's not the pin that Ben is talking about. So we'll have to figure out I'll have to get Ben to send me a picture so I can tell him where that pin's from.
But that is further proof, as I stated, that every pin has a story.
Yep, every pin has a story.
No, I think the one that Ben was talking about was
Is this the one you showed a second ago?
Yeah,
I missed that moment. Do you remember when they used to make their pins like this? They were like kind of they weren't my fingernails on
the really cheap ones.
Give it to me.
I'm so embarrassed. But yeah, it's like just a simple back with like an enamel and
well, that's like the stuff you guys were probably reporting for here.
So yeah. Do you like that how it says like opening October 1999? This is like we aren't even open yet. Pin.
We will.
Yeah.
This was the opening of the All-Star movies. And it's just
oh yeah. Yeah, it's just a totally different process of pin making. Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
All right. We could do this forever, but we won't.
We'll have to come up with like established themes, and then y'all come and everybody can come and share what they've got.
Come show us.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be
I
really
think I found it. This one, Benji.
Oh, is that it, Ben? There, that one where he's holding a reporter pad and a hat.
Benji, instead of answering, says bye, guys.
He's out.
He's out.
He's a CEO. He's got stuff to do. He's got his own show to prepare for, right, Rebecca?
Yeah, me too. That's why I keep trying to wrap it up. We're coming back at 8 o'clock.
So 8 o'clock today, not 7:30.
Oh, okay. I
don't. Why don't we stop talking and check the schedule?
Last time I looked at the schedule, it was at a different time. So.
It is at 8 o'clock today.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Let's finally wrap this thing up. First of all, I would like to thank the four of us for being here. That would be myself, Doobie Mosley, the founder of Laughing Place, my lovely, talented wife, Rebecca.
Oh.
Thank you.
Aww.
On the go at MCO, Shelly, thank you for being here as always.
Always.
And the guy with way too many pins, the head of pin trading for Laughing Place, Jeremiah.
I will take that one.
That one was right.
Sign me up.
Thank you for being here. This has been Dig a Little Deeper. Somewhere way back in the whenever we talked about Star Tours, we started here. And we went just a tiny bit deeper. We're not much at all today. Let's see. So as Rebecca said, we are live all the time. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel. So much live stuff we do on these channels. Make sure you ring the bell, ding a ding a ding a ding a, so you know when we go live. Our next live event will be in just over 2 hours when Rebecca right here and our CEO Benji right here, actual photo of him, do our new show, one of our newest shows, LP In Depth, what the layoffs mean for the future of Disney. That will not be quite as much fun as this one, but it will be very informative.
No, we're going to
very
talk.
important.
We're going to talk about the recent reorganization that has been announced by Disney, and the ways that has impacted the jobs at the company, as well as the various divisions and who is reporting to what and why. We'll help you make a little bit more sense of it. Sometimes it can be confusing as to why did that happen? And Benji's very, very good at letting you know kind of the behind the scenes, the way that the Disney company works, and what this can mean for us, the fans, when we see business decisions like this happening.
And knowing Benji, I guess the show's at 8 tomorrow morning? Because he would never put 8 p.m. as 8:00. No. It would be 20:00, yes.
Try not to tilt it because this plastic's about to crumble.
So please make sure you tune in 2 hours. And then, of course, make sure you ring the bell. We're going to be live all week long. Rebecca's got Mando Monday tomorrow. She'll be recapping the last episode of Mandalorian with Mike Celestino, which was just an amazing episode. I look forward to that recap. We'll be coming live from the park all week long. We've got LP Movie Club tomorrow. Godmother. I may need to sign up for that one. I really like that movie. Is that one full yet, Benji? I might want to talk about Godmother. I really enjoyed that. And that's tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. So much more. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Heather, for being a part of it.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, the four of us, for being here. Everyone, wave goodbye. Except Rebecca, you can hide your nails. Here we go. It's been